10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2...
Cut. Go bam. Cue.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children. Last August, after years of painstaking work by our intelligence community, I was briefed on a possible lead to bin Laden. It was far from certain, and it took many months to run this thread to ground. I met repeatedly with my national security team as we talked about the possibility that we had located bin Laden hiding within a compound deep inside Pakistan. And finally, last week, I determined that we had enough intelligence to take action and authorized an operation to get Osama bin Laden and bring him to justice. Today, at my direction, the United States launched a targeted operation against that compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. A small team of Americans carried out the operation with extraordinary courage and capability. No Americans were harmed. They took care to avoid civilian casualties. After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body. For over 2 decades, bin Laden has been al-Qaeda's leader and symbol, and has continued to plot attacks against our country and our friends and allies. The death of bin Laden marks the most significant achievement to date in our nation's effort to defeat al-Qaeda. Yet his death does not mark the end of our effort. There's no doubt that al-Qaeda will continue to pursue attacks against us. We must, and we will, remain vigilant at home and abroad. Tonight, I called President Zardari, and my team has also spoken with their Pakistani counterparts. They agree that this is a good and historic day for both of our nations. And going forward, it is essential that Pakistan continue to join us in the fight against al-Qaeda and its affiliates. We give thanks for the men who carried out this operation, for they exemplify the professionalism, patriotism, and unparalleled courage of those who serve our country. And they are part of a generation that has borne the heaviest share of the burden since that September day. Let us remember that we can do these things not just because of wealth or power, but because of who we are. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
One of the most recognizable faces of our age, Osama bin Laden inspired a generation of Islamic radicals. You wouldn't guess it from this early family snapshot. Relaxed, smiling, a typical teenager. No sign of what he would become. As Saudi national, Osama bin Laden became increasingly disenchanted with what he viewed as the greed of the ruling Saudi royal family. It was in Afghanistan that he found a cause, fighting with the Mujahideen to drive out Soviet forces. Ironic now to think that the Mujahideen was supported by the CIA. By now, bin Laden's opposition to America had already taken root. From his base in Afghanistan, Osama bin Laden developed a network, providing training and guidance for the foot soldiers who turned his jihadist ideology into action. Al-Qaeda. In 1998, Osama bin Laden gave this interview to the American network ABC.
We believe that the worst thieves in the world today and the worst terrorists are the Americans. Nothing could stop them except perhaps retaliation in kind. We don't have to differentiate between military or civilian. As far as we are concerned, they are all targets. And this is what the fatwa says.
He meant every word. Al-Qaeda was blamed for bomb attacks in East Africa and against a US warship in Yemen. But it was this that changed everything. 9/11. 3,000 people killed in a carefully planned and coordinated attack on American soil. Osama bin Laden officially became top of America's hit list.
I want justice. And there's an old poster out west, as I recall, that said, "Wanted, dead or alive."
The so-called War on Terror was born. The caves where bin Laden was thought to be hiding were pounded relentlessly. But he survived. And from his hiding place, Osama bin Laden still managed to communicate to the world via tapes sent to Arabic television stations. This from 2004, just before the US presidential election. American people, he says, my talk to you is about the best way to avoid another Manhattan, about the war and its causes. The underlying message was much simpler than that. A taunt to America and its coalition partners. I'm still here. And after 9/11, other attacks, inspired by bin Laden's ideology, followed. Bali, Madrid and London. The war in Iraq now providing a new focus for the jihadist cause. Analysts caution that Osama bin Laden's demise does not signal the end of the war on terror. Around the world, Islamic extremist groups have spread, inspired by but not necessarily directly connected to Al-Qaeda. And that, perhaps, is Osama bin Laden's enduring legacy. Osama bin Laden may be dead, but his ideas are not. Rachel Harvey, BBC News.